What's up, Sassy Gamers? Today is April 22nd, 2021, and I'm Mike, and this is Got Our Attention podcast number 45. I'm actually here with also today, we got Brian.
Wow, you upped the complexity there and nailed it.
I know, it was crazy.
That was a twofer. That was pretty amazing. I'm excited to be here today. I love this plan. I'm excited to be a part of it. Let's do it.
Yeah, and I think the plan that he's talking about is the fact that we actually have a special guest today. So we have a friend of ours who is also a content creator. He's also a host of his own podcast. It's called Infinite Boost, where he interviews. Well, I'll let him kind of talk about that. But anyway, let's welcome Tom.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me on
Anytime.
the show. I'm excited to be here.
Great. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think I know we have some similar interests. We've kind of exchanged some of that stuff the other night, and I think it's gonna be a fun one. So let's start off. Obviously, we brought you in. Let's hear about yourself. So tell us a little bit about your podcast. I know that you interview. So it's called Infinite Boost, and it's available on Anchor as well, just like us. So it's anchor.fm / what is it, Infinite Boost, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. So he interviews mostly Rocket League players, people who play Rocket League, but he does also have different people that do come in and also talk about different things that also kind of relate to Rocket League, which is pretty neat. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. Well, I mean, when you talk about things that relate to Rocket League, I kind of take a very worldly approach to how I look at Rocket League in terms of just improvement. The reason I started the podcast and what the podcast is about is just basically improvement at the game of Rocket League, because I wanted to do a podcast about Rocket League. And so I thought I could take a very selfish approach and just talk about improvement on a consistent basis, because I want to be improving at Rocket League. So it's like two birds with one stone, and there's not really anything like that out there. So
right.
it just seemed to really work out.
Yeah, we were talking about that a few minutes ago, as how with us doing kind of gaming overall news or tech news, interesting thing news, there's a lot of shows out there like this. So obviously we get that we're not the first ones, the pioneers of creating this style format. But like you said, looking for something like a Rocket League podcast, I didn't even think that was a thing until I spoke to you. And yours is obviously going to be unique.
I also think it's amazing too, because you're talking about, getting better at Rocket League, and what a good, friendly, social way to do it besides, hey, sitting down with someone and just talking to them about it, and and talking about other things as well. But it just naturally comes up oh yeah, by the way, when I'm doing these things, that's a great way to do it. You're improving yourself, plus you share your wisdom with other people who want to improve, and everyone gets better.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm sharing any wisdom, but
Sure.
It's funny because I've been kind of stuck in Rocket League for a long time. I mean, I've been improving, but I feel like I would like to be a little bit farther along than where I am. And a lot of people will come by my Twitch chat when I'm streaming and be like, "Oh man, I just got GC for the first time last season. I listened to your podcast. It's helped so much." And I'm like, what am I doing?
What?
Here?
I'm not
all
GC.
All these people are getting better and better, and here I am just still in the same place, which I'm happy for them. It doesn't make me crabby. I could, and I mean, I've had stops and goes with the podcast, and part of that is frustration about being stuck. But at the end of the day, I'm really happy for the listeners of my show, and that they enjoyed so much, that they get so much out of it. And it's been a pleasure to be able to bring some of the knowledge and understanding of the game that some of the people I've talked to, because I've talked to, coaches in RLCS. I've had one RLCS professional player on there. I've had lots of people with college experience, high level players. So it's been a lot of fun to be able to bring that to people in a way that they wouldn't, ever had the opportunity otherwise. So it's been a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
Awesome. And then for those of you who knew that I've been on a 5-month hiatus from Rocket League, I haven't played since I think it was November or December. I broke that. Surprise! Spoilers, that'll come up later when we get to what we've been playing. But that's also kind of what sparked this up. But Tell me a little bit about your content creation. I know I checked out your YouTube page, and it's literally just Tom because that's your YouTube. But I noticed you had a couple of Valheim videos, one that's actually taken off, and it was more of an instructional video.
Yeah. I mean, I wish that I could have better things to say about my content creation, at least the consistency. It's something that I've always been interested in and just never, for whatever reason. I mean, there are lots of reasons, but I don't want to take up the whole hour. It's just hasn't been consistent. But, in terms of like YouTube and Twitch and podcasts and things of that nature, I pay a lot of attention to the culture and what people are doing. I'm fascinated by it. I love it. And now I guess this, however many go of it, is a time that I'm taking it just a little bit more seriously and hopefully can make a really good go of it. And you bring up the Valheim stuff. So I'm sure Phoenix had mentioned that you are a survival game fan, Mike. And when Valheim came out, a couple of friends of mine were like, I didn't know what it was. And my friends were like, oh, we're going to be Vikings today. Does everybody want to be Vikings? And I'm like, what the heck are you talking about?
Right.
So they're like, oh, we're playing this game called Valheim and we're Vikings. And I was like, okay, whatever. And I was a little frustrated with Rocket League at the time, as people are,
understandable,
from time to time. So I was like, okay, whatever, I'm going to buy it. It was like $20, maybe $30.
Right.
And I downloaded it and we were all playing it. And I was like, this game is so cool.
Right.
This game is a lot of fun. And so I was like, I should try making some videos about this. And I found one guy that had made a build video and I just made like a quick little tutorial, whatever. It didn't do very well. And then I made one more that did a little bit better. And then I was searching on YouTube, like different search words just to like see what people, and nobody had really made a video about docks. And one of the first days that we started playing the game, as I was digging down into the ground close to like an ocean, I noticed that if you dig down far enough, water just magically appears. Like it doesn't come from anywhere, but like if you go low enough, water's just there. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And so I got the crazy idea to like dig out a big area and make a pool.
Nice.
So like I made this big area and made a pool out of it. And then I made this ugly contraption, just trying to build as high as I could to make a high dive. So I made a video out of us like climbing up on this thing and just doing a bunch of crazy stuff off this high dive. And then I noticed on YouTube that there were no really good videos about docks. And then I also saw a lot of people complaining on Reddit about having to build in the water because it's just a little frustrating if you played Valheim. And then the wood gets degraded and it doesn't look very good. So I thought to myself, I could take this idea of like digging out the land and letting the water come inland instead of building off of the land.
Makes sense.
And like a different way to build docks. And it just went crazy. Like it's like at 270 or 280,000 views now. At the time that I made that video, I had like under 300 subscribers and now I'm almost at like 1,400, which is, it's nothing crazy, but at the same time, for somebody that has always aspired to do something like this, it was a lot of fun having it happen.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I can't say that we have that many or anything, but it is the thing. It's, finding something that you like and finding something that was needed and you willing to make a video about it. Because that's the thing is if it's not available out there, I mean, that's like prime real estate really. So you can make the video, make it work for yourself. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. The way I watched the video and it was an interesting way to build like that. And that worked out. And it's like, man, I didn't really think about that because we've all played Valheim and we've not really had a good time in the water because of just, how janky things are sometimes. But yeah, it was a cool video.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
No problem.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. And I also totally get what you were talking about earlier with content creation and just the consistency of it, which usually that's how you build and maintain an audience is consistency. Other than, like you said, just having something go viral and you get your, like an initial start of an audience that way a lot of times. So when you kind of run into that, what do you do to get past that, to get past like the writer's block, as it were?
Oh gosh. You're going to put me on a soapbox here. Okay. So again, and it kind of throws me off a little bit to talk about this because I obviously have had very minimal success when it comes to this stuff. So I'm not a guru. I don't have all the answers or anything like that. I do have my opinions and my thoughts. And basically at the end of the day, like where I'm at right now is I'm looking at my content, Rocket League in general, like it's my job. Even though it's not making me a ton of money right now, if any money at all, like it's still my job. I'm growing a business. There are a lot of content creators or people that aspire to create content that like might make one video or think it's a little bit hard or want to, do something a certain way and it doesn't work. And then they just stop.
Right.
Because they post a video or they work, 20 hours on a video or something. It doesn't go off like they wanted to. And then, well, this is too frustrating and I don't want to put in that work and I'm done. And at the end of the day, I'm telling myself that this is a business and it's something that I'm growing and it's going to take a lot of time and effort and daily practice to get there. Like it's so if I have a bad day or if I have a bad video or something doesn't work out, then that's just a bad day at the office. And I still have to come back to the office the next day and get back to work.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Whether or not it works out, we'll see.
So that was more of a rough question. Here's a much easier one because you already helped us out with one big one. That's an example of this before the podcast started. You had mentioned this little piece of software for us to check into on our side called Zencastr, which looked fantastic. So on the content creation side, besides Zencastr, what's one of your favorite pieces of software that maybe people know about, maybe people don't know about, but you think it's very useful in content creation?
Well, so I will say, even outside of content creation, something that I use on a very, very regular basis is a web app that's called Coda, which is a doc backwards. It's a startup in California, and basically what they have created or their premise is that Word documents, spreadsheets are something that haven't changed literally since the 70s when they were first put on a computer. Yeah. So they're doing everything that they can to create this modern kind of collaboration organization tool that is extremely aesthetically pleasing and also very, very easy to use. So it's kind of like a Word document and a spreadsheet all in one. So if you need to organize a list of articles for a podcast, or you're building a shopping list, or like anything that you want to build and create, there's a way to do it in Coda. It's free up to a certain point, so you can get comfortable with it. You can use it. It makes it really easy to use and kind of frictionless. And then also it has the power of spreadsheets where you can build formulas and you can organize things, you can filter things, you can color code things. It's super, super handy. And I really, really like it. That's cool. Like I said, yeah, I found it when it was in a private beta in 2017. And nice. I DM'd their Twitter account and was like, any way I can get into this?
I need this.
Yeah. And then they were nice enough to let me in. And I've been using it for everything since then. It's just a lovely, lovely tool.
Nice. Yeah, we kind of use OneNote for our collaboration as far as like the podcast and different things, because it's easy. It's one of the easier ones we found that we already basically had because of subscription. And then we're able to see who's making updates in real time. We can change things and update things there. So, but yeah, that sounds pretty cool. We'll have to check that one out as well.
Yes. Yeah, it's awesome.
I threw it up there really quick. And to be clear, we are not sponsored by any of these people. There's no sponsorship going on here. But I did.
If you want to sponsor us, I mean,
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're open for sponsorship. Now, I did throw it up there really quick because I went to the site really quick, and just the tagline is enough of this sheet.
Yeah.
And
which is great.
and it got a spreadsheet up against her face. I was like, okay, that's at least worth throwing up on the podcast really quick. For those listening and not watching any of the video, go check out the site, CODA. It's a funny joke. Even if you don't use it, that enough was worth a fun little look.
It's a really cool company. The two co-founders are former Google employees.
Okay.
So they really know what they're doing. It's a really awesome company. I really like that product.
Cool.
Mm.
Yeah, it almost looks like
and they do have a mobile app too. So like if you're I don't know if it's on Android yet, but on iOS. So like you can build whatever you want on the web browser and then use it right on your phone as well. It's super handy.
Cool.
Very cool.
Witcher lore out in the public and just walking around and doing things. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. It'll be available soon. And that's basically it. So we typically go into emails, which right now we have no emails except spam. So if you want us to send us an email, it's GOA@sassgaming.com. Again, that's GOA@SASSGAMING.com. Send us an email. It doesn't matter what it is. Tell us what you think. Tell us, what you don't think. Tell us what you're doing. Whatever. Just send us an email. And that is what got our attention this week. If you want to follow me, you can follow me at XYCIA or Zycia on Twitch. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Zycia Gaming. You can also find Brian. How?
No, guests first. Tom, tell us about your socials. How can people find you? How can people follow what you do?
Anywhere on the internet, you can find me at IWantedJustTom, because Tom is never available. So just IWantedJustTom, and I will be there.
Sweet.
Awesome. You can find me at Phoenix Nova, PHOENNIX_Nova on Twitch. Get rid of the underscore for just about anything else, and you'll be able to find me, except for YouTube, because they got a stupid rule. You got to have so many followers before you can name the channel after yourself. It's dumb.
Yeah, well, eventually we'll get there. Well, Tom, it's been a pleasure having you on this week. We do thank you for stopping by, and I'm glad that we were able to catch up and hang out and talk about some stuff.
Yeah,
so.
Thank you so much. I appreciate having the opportunity. It was a good time.
Yeah, definitely a good time. So for those listeners out there, until next time, you guys be safe. And I'll just keep it at that. Be safe, have a good time, and have a good night. Y'all take care.